Hey, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you, and I just hope that you get something out of this. So we're going to be talking about how I cope with depression, and you can leave how you cope with depression in the comments, because this needs to be, a dialogue. And there's many ways that lots of people cope with depression. So y'all, I record in front of my window, right? Like, this is just fucking tangent, but just you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to make a sign, right? I'm gonna put my YouTube channel right here, and I'm gonna stick it on my fucking window, right? So that everyone who's watching me can subscribe. Like who just looks inside people's window? I live in front of this large building now. Like, I never used to have this building here, but it's so okay. Anyway, I'm going to be discussing this briefly, and I want to know how you cope with your low moods, or whether it be suicidal ideation. See, because here's the thing. First and foremost, I need for y'all to know, I don't see depression as a bad thing necessarily, like it's an illness, or because I've gotten to the place where I've concretely realized that I'm not the one that has the problem here. Okay. Fucking society is backwards. I talk about this in some of my videos on my mental health playlist. Please check those out and share them with people who have mental health problems. That is why I'm making these videos. So that, someone can benefit. But I guess I'll say how I cope, right? The main coping mechanism was something that kind of came over time, which was my context of life. My whole view of this world had shifted. And so once I saw it's the way the society is ran is sick. Okay. It's backward, and it's not created for me to be well. Okay. Argue with me. I'm not the only person that feels like this. And this is just through my experience of dealing with depression my whole life and feeling suicidal, and, just really asking myself again, the why, because my brain that's how it works. Why? Why am I depressed? Why? And that's all I first urge anyone. When you're in these low moods, literally start going within and asking why. That's the first thing. Okay. Start asking why, because then it's gonna show you some things, especially if it's a sincere prayer. Because, after I asked why for so long, that's where it brought me. And it's nothing I can tell you, or anyone can tell you, or a pill. You have to experience the answer to your questions. You have to feel that truth for yourself. You understand? Because when you're in the darkness, it's dark. When you depressed, you are done. There ain't no positivity to think about. That's the definition of depression. This is why it pisses me off when people are like, oh, think positive. Bitch, the fucking definition of depression is the inability to think positive. This is why, I speak out on this so much. If you don't have depression or suffer from a malignant form of depression, or suicidal ideation, you are not going to have any reference of how to even speak to people. And I made a video about that, how to talk to a suicidal person, how to talk to a depressed person. Actually, always check my description box. I'm going to leave that video, because with as many people that's walking around that's suicidal, that video should have more views. Okay, not even off the strength of nothing else. It's all these depressed people, Nobody knows how to talk to a person who is suicidal. People get very, 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 it's not that people don't care or whatever. It's like people feel helpless. Like people just feel helpless. Like they don't know how to even approach the person. And then when they do approach the person, they're possibly triggering them to want to punch the shit out of them or saying some shit that's literally not helpful. And it's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like nobody is taught. Like nobody is taught this, you know? And so I made that video, so please share it because like this is important. Like it don't take much to comfort someone who is going through a suicidal episode or a deep bout of depression. It's not hard. It's just word choice. You know what I mean? Like anytime you're invalidating somebody's feelings, that's going to put them on the defense immediately. Like don't invalidate the way I feel. Like don't do that. Oh, but like you're supporting depression or you're enabling it. No, like that's another thing that gets on my nerves. It's like, no, I'm a human fucking being in a backwards, sick ass fucking society. Excuse me if I'm mentally unwell. I'm sorry, excuse me. And I used to feel that way speaking to these therapists all the time. This is why I don't, you know, I've stopped that. I'm going to start going back before other reasons. It's like, what? Like, I'm supposed to be mentally well here. Oh, but it's perception and like, you know, your perception of life. I'm tired of that too. Because, okay, it's all of our perception of life, but this place was not created for us to be well, to begin with. Like, we have to realize that. Like, that's the first realization. Because once I had that hard realization that this place was not created for me to be well, or happy, or flourishing spiritually, everything goes against that. I mean, if you just take living in a city, for one, that is anti-mental health right there. There's no fresh air. There's no trees. You see no greenery. Like, that's affecting you too. Like, I'll give you an example. Like I said, where I live now, there's a whole fucking building in front of me. I used to be able to see the whole sky. I used to be able to, like, wake up, see sun setting, and now I got people looking at me right now filming this video. I fucking got cameras outside my door. I got cameras in my elevator. There's like, you're being what? That's a subconscious mind fuck that people, oh, well, just ignore it. No, you can ignore a lot of shit. It does not mean it's not still affecting you. You know how much shit I ignore here? But that I know I can literally feel it. That the program running in my subcon, like I feel that shit assaulting my energetic field. And so once I came to the conclusion that, you know what, okay, this is the reality, right? Like, okay, this is the reality and I'm going to have to try and find a way to cope until I can leave this environment. And so that's one of my coping mechanisms is my perspective. I've developed my perspective over years. Start asking why. Okay, why am I depressed? Start looking at your environment. Start looking at everything. Okay, social media. I spoke about this in my last two videos. I even have a video on social media. Is destroying people's lives. So now let's look at the social media, which I'm going to leave again, that link in the description. Let me inform you, okay, if you're a person who has felt suicidal the past year or two or whatever, I need for you to know that it already came out that Facebook very literally was pumping out fake news and fake, like, just negative news, depressing shit as an experiment to see, right? Like, okay, we're going to give happy posts to this group of people and we're going to do depression posts for this group of people over here and see if it affects their consciousness. And I don't even got to discuss the outcome of that because I think we already know. Of course, the group of people that was fed news feed, again, they're feeding you this toxic crap, which is changing your brain. So if you're engaging with social media, you need to know that you've opened yourself up to depression, very literally, and suicidal ideation. And it's on so many levels. And so I need for you to know that consciousness transfer has happened already and is happening. Like, they're not trying to develop, you know, the technology for that. Now, no. We've already been hacked into. Our consciousness has already been switched out from the original you. Social media is changing your brain. Okay? And I've felt it. I have very literally felt attacks come from my phone. And then, you know, then I go online and I'm seeing videos about people, like, feeling like their phones is shooting out signals. I ain't crazy. I'm crazy, but y'all know what I mean. Like, this is happening. So when we want to talk about depression and mood disorders, like, of course you're going to have a fucking mood disorder. Your consciousness has been switched out. Social media has infiltrated your shit and implanted shit, and you gotta unhook yourself from that. So that's another method, getting out of social media. Salvage your mind and attention. So now that that's out the way, once you have concretely realized what's going on, that you're under attack, you're like, depression, you see depression differently now, right? You don't see it as some kind of like permanent thing or like the end of the world. Like, before my awareness opened to where it is now, a depressive episode was like the most torturous thing I could ever imagine. It felt like an endless abyss of just hopelessness. But now, with the awareness I have, it doesn't make it any less painful. Like, actually, I feel like my depression has kicked up only because that is just the swing of the spectrum. When your light gets brighter, the shadow is cast deeper, darker, whatever. So, you know, the more you dig, the wider your emotional intelligence is going to be, because it's a spectrum. So now I see depression as intelligence, and something that's trying to communicate something to me, that something is fucking off, or maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I don't judge my depression anymore. That's something that I grew from that in 2018, like judging it, period. This is how I feel. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to discount it. And I'm not going to allow someone else to invalidate my shit, because my joy, my sadness, all of that is valid. And it's communicating something to us for us to look at something, experience something, like, so I don't see my depression in that way anymore. And I'm losing light. I can't wait to get lights. But, you know, I don't take meds anymore. I remember at one point, like for years, I remember at one point I would drink. I don't drink anymore. And just like substance abuse, like when what I need for people to realize about substance abuse, it is a way to cope, right? Like, I'm not even here to be like, oh, drugs is bad, or oh my God, like you are where you are when you are there. Like, if that's what you need to do, a drink or smoke some weed or whatever, like if that's what you're doing in the moment to fucking cope and not like go off the ledge, literally, do that. Because you know what? All habits stop at some point if you want them to. Like, if you're doing the work, it's going to fall away naturally. Every habit I've had in life has gone away on its own when it was time. So I never stressed or like felt guilt for any kind of substance abuse issue or addictions or whatever, because I can clearly see now that those things literally kept me out of fucking jail, and this is why I'm here now. And okay, everybody's addicted to a substance. Everything's a drug here. Fucking food, fucking sugar, fucking coffee. Like, bitch, don't fucking get me started with drugs and substance abuse and addiction, because every fucking body is addicted, okay? If it's not alcohol, it'll be scrolling on social media. If it's not that, it's posting selfies because your brain needs the fucking dopamine hit. Like, it's something. Everybody gotta find something to cope. There's either that or you offing yourself. No, like, if it was not for some of the substances I've had to entertain, no, in all reality, I would be in jail. Like, I would have been spazzed on some cops, or I would have been like, it would have been over. So, listen, I'm not condoning or condemning nothing. I just don't want nobody feeling guilt for where they are, because you know what? It's whatever the thing that's holding you back, that people say is holding you back, or addictions. Like I said, I don't see any of this shit the way the mental health community sees it. I'm seeing shit for what it is. People are addicted because people are in fucking pain. And show me a person that wants to just sit in pain and be happy and enjoy it and not take anything to try and like alleviate it. I'm talking about excruciating pain. Show me a person. Okay? So this is why I don't see addicts like how most people see addicts. I see a whole bunch of addicts around here. Okay, it's just yours ain't no illegal drug, or you not drunk at the bar, but you got a fucking vice or some shit that you are abusing. Anyway, dancing is a way to, you know, cope. Sleeping, sometimes you're just so depressed you can't move, and then you feel guilty because you're like, oh, I slept all day. No, just listen. Don't further burden yourself. I know it's hard. Yo, you feel like shit. You be like, you fucking lazy, but like, whatever. Like, you might not be working. Like, you feel totally, like, I get it, right? But like, if you need to sleep all day, that is, your body ain't moving. That's it. That's the end. Netflix has literally saved me tons of times. Binge watching Netflix. And a lot of these things I'm mentioning are things that, you know, I'm really happy I've let go of like the whole substance abuse thing. This is why I'm able to sit here and be like, that served its purpose. It did. It served the purpose. I'm not going to listen to no, like, I know how much pain I was in. And I remember the day it like officially really broke, when I realized like, wow, Nirvana, like I was so proud of myself. I had to be in the most excruciating pain. And this was recently. I'm talking about depression. Like, I cannot even remember feeling this bad. I'm talking about crying the whole day. It just did not let up for like 2 days. And I didn't reach for any substance. Anything. I've never been more proud of myself. I never have been more proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? That's when I knew the growth had happened. But again, it's not to try and sit here and force or tell somebody to stop doing what they do. Like, you're not there. Everybody got their own. Everybody got their own, you know what I'm saying? And so I just realized that I know that I'll feel better at some point. I have to take these highs with the lows. You know, I'm experiencing life at a higher at a higher frequency now. You know, I'm more sensitive to joy. I'm more sensitive to the good feelings. So that means that my pain is going to be amplified too. You can't separate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop demonizing our feelings, period, or even judging them. We need to start asking why. You know, So that's all I really wanted to say. Those are some of my coping mechanisms. Sleeping, Netflix, remembering the context of why I'm even depressed. Reaching out to a friend if you have, and if you don't have a friend, like I said, do what's within your realm or world. Okay, do what you need to do. Okay, because I'm telling you that this place, okay, is a mess. So y'all have a beautiful day. Sorry I'm, lost the light. I tried to get back and record this sooner, but make sure you subscribe and share these mental health videos, please. Like, I'm desperate to share these videos because, like, I see people suffering everywhere. Like, there's no reason why, like I said, that video of how to talk to a suicidal person don't have more views, because I see a whole lot of suicidal people, and some compassion will be nice and not fucking judging the person. Being suicidal is so multifaceted. Like, this is what people need to realize. That shit is multifaceted. It's not just one thing for most people. So please, at the very least, just tell the person, I'll listen. Like, literally, just listen. Don't even fucking say nothing. Don't try to give advice. Just listen. Like, a lot of times, it's all I need. It's just for somebody to fucking listen without saying anything or trying to make me feel like it's something wrong with how I feel. Like, this is how I feel. And people need to respect that. People will grow when they're supposed to grow. You admonishing them or telling them or trying to say, oh, I'm just trying to help, you must want to stay in pain. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, I be hearing a lot of these people in the spiritual community, like, bitch, you better never come at me like that, okay? A bitch might turn suicidal to homicidal. Lady, y'all.